that out of the way right now.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Box Out Boys podcast. We are the NBA podcast of the people, your home for lukewarm takes and substandard analysis. I'm Titus, Two Shots Dominguez, and joining me tonight, it's Chris, the Stats Man Gorman. Hit him with the stats, Chris.
Hey, I have a stat. So Anthony Davis is the least efficient jump shooter over the last 2 seasons with an effective field goal percentage of 36%. He's the only man under 40. And number 5 is Russell Westbrook with 41.6. So just highlighting the shooting woes of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Good thing they're the same team. Also getting minutes tonight, it's the lawn boss, Joey McCrowski. Get that, Joe.
I feel like I need to sing like a Bob Marley song, but I think everything is going to be all right, right? We're good.
We've been the pre-show. We were up and down. We were negative Nancy's on the Bulls, and then as we're talking, they pull away. They're up like 11 now.
I think
There's
when
a
you
lot of
say
pain
up
and
and down,
suffering.
you mean I'm up and you guys are down.
Yeah, we were down. Chris was bringing us back up. DeMar went off in the third quarter and is making me look like an idiot. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
Easy money.
Yes, it is. But who makes us sound like not idiots? It is the super producer, Adam, the Professional Bruns. I'd love tonight, Adam.
They are fantastic, and I am back.
Oh, yeah, he's back. He's been off.
Been a while.
Yeah.
I'm back now.
He's back in the building. And we're back, and we're ready to talk about basketball. We have actual games to talk about, which is nice. Here we go. Baskets Be Awesome's already in there. Now it's a show. Everything's going to be all right,
Yes.
guys. We will definitely get to the Bulls.
For you Minnesotans, maybe. I mean, thank you from wherever you are.
We will definitely touch on the Bulls game later, the mystery guest. We have a couple of games to talk about for sure. I mean, we'll probably go around the league a little bit and touch on some of the games as they go final here and as we kind of see them, pop up on our NBA apps. We had opening night it was last night, the big celebration for the Golden State Warriors, little memoriam for Bill Russell during the Boston and Sixers game. So quickly, just kind of go around the horn here. Joey, did you catch any of the games last night? Were you locked in on on night one, or were you kind of waiting for Bulls to kind of get yourself started? What was the deal?
I didn't get as much of 76ers Celtics as I would have liked. Caught the end of it. I did get through the third quarter of Golden State Lakers.
That was a late one, yeah.
Yeah, but overall big takeaway for me was how impressive Boston looked. I think I kind of mentioned, I think in our over-unders that, they were going to be good, but there was going to be some struggles and they needed to get out of the gate hot. And, there might be a little bit of a hangover from last year and all their off-court stuff. And they, I think, proved me and I think a lot of people wrong by coming out and putting the show on that they did. I was impressed that, 35 from Tatum, 35 from Brown. That team just looks like they're coordinated and like all put together at the same time. Brogdon was a really good addition, right? That's exactly what they were missing last year. They needed somebody off the bench to kind of keep the flow going. Got 16 from him, and he made some pretty decent highlight plays. Noah Vonleh for Chris got 20 minutes in the game last night. Chris was pretty excited
For me.
So I can't even say it straight face.
No Vonleh sighting.
No Vonleh sighting. I wasn't really like disappointed. I think in Philly, I think they did kind of what everybody expected that they can do. Stat line from there: Harden had 35, Embiid had 26, Maxey had 21, Tobias Harris had 18, and that kind of all fell, I think, where everybody was kind of predicting. Harden and Embiid would be your load carriers, and Maxey was probably going to be your third best guy, and Tobias Harris was kind of relegated to your 4 score, which makes probably sense for him. They just got no contributions from their bench, and Boston just was doing what they seem to, have gotten accustomed to doing. And if Boston plays like that for a long stretch, there's going to be some concerns, I think, for a lot of teams in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, they looked tough. But they picked up right where they left off, in the finals. So, Chris, what was your overall thoughts on last night? Were you locked in? What was the feeling?
Yeah.
Was it nice to have basketball back? What was it like, man?
Yeah, it felt good. It felt
Did.
It's been a long time coming. It's nice to see James Harden. I was actually excited for James Harden even hooping. I know everyone's already
Real
annoyed with
sicko
James
mode.
Harden.
Yeah, I was annoyed.
But,
5 minutes into that.
I was excited to see it. I loved his smart flopped out of the arena basically, and then Harden airballed it. I'm all for it. It was awesome to see all of that.
That was special.
I'm a little. I remember when we did our with our predictions, we all took the Bucks to come out of the East.
Yes.
And then watching this game last night kind of reaffirms that, in my opinion. The Celtics looked they looked like how you would kind of best case scenario. They're looking great. The Sixers, they have this your turn, their turn. It's not like a team cohesion atmosphere in this team. Tobias Harris had 14 points in the second half, in the first half, 4 in the second. And I was like, is that his fault, or is that because Tyrese Maxey needed to get his, or because James Harden, was cooking and getting his? Embiid looked slow. I wanted more out of Embiid because Noah freaking Vonleh is playing 20 minutes. Embiid should have gotten 40 because Vonleh was guarding him a bunch too, and he was making him look, small, but he wasn't doing enough. I felt like to really put a stamp on the game. I was a little disappointed in Embiid. So
I wasn't putting the pressure on him.
Not enough, and this new refined bench with D'Anthony Melton, Daniel House, and Montrezl Harrell combined for 8 points. So, we'll see what happens there. Grant Williams, he's this little spark plug for the Celtics off the bench. He was crazy for Boston. So, I don't know. Boston's great. Philly, I'm a little more iffy on than I was before.
I didn't realize Grant Williams had a near perfect. If he would have made his one extra free throw, he went 5 of 5 from the floor, 3 of 3 from 3-point, 2 of 3 from the line.
Wow,
that's a contribution from a.
Still had a -3.
Still had a -3.
Ouch.
That stings. As that free throw got to him. No, I'm kind of with what you guys have said. That seems like spot on analysis there. Boston looks really good and tough, and then I'm the same with you, Chris. I just felt like Philly, something just missing there. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is. I felt like, Harden obviously had a strong game and looked sharp at least compared to last year, where he maybe looked a little slow and looked like he was maybe kind of about to be washed. And then just Embiid, he did look slow, but his numbers were there, and he was kind of getting forced into those double teams and having to give up the ball a lot. So, I think maybe a little bit of game plan there, maybe not adjusting well to Boston's defense could be the issue there. So I'm not too worried about Embiid, but just the Sixers as a whole, I think they're clearly in a lower tier below like Boston and Milwaukee for sure.
You think another tier below now?
Yeah, just like that.
We're kind of keeping them in that.
Yeah, I still think they're kind of there, but maybe I should have said that they're the clear-cut third team in the East
of that first tier.
That first tier. So I think that's where I felt they were at. Kind of moving into the later game. I know you said maybe didn't catch all of it there. I know I kind of conked out early right at the halftime, and then caught the highlights later for the second half. But what did you guys think of the ring ceremony for Golden State? Was kind of did you guys catch any of that? Was that on your radar at all or no?
I did. I enjoyed the rings. I think the little sliding open compartment that shows how many trophies each player has is pretty sweet.
That was cool.
And there's a spot that they have the pattern of the Celtics floor on the rings.
Oh, I did not hear about this.
So there's a design on the rings that is like a basketball floor, I think, and it's what is it called? The parquet. The parquet, the parquet flooring. So they put a dig in at them for winning. And the Golden Gate Bridge that they have on like in their logo, whatever. So there's 43 of these like bars, and each of them stuff's 43 and 4. So I like the little touches that they put in there.
That was really cool.
I just like the little sliding thing. You know, Steph can open his and see that there's 4 there, and then Wiggins has got to open it up and see 1. It's pretty awesome.
Correct me up. My wife said that was unfair. She's like, "Isn't that kind of stupid? They have to see 1, and the other guys get 4." I'm like, "Yeah, but if I only won the 1, I wouldn't want to see the other guys 3 titles in there."
Right? I'd be like, "Yeah, this doesn't impact me at all."
No, this is my 1.
Yeah, Steph deserves to have 4 in his. It's fine.
Yeah, I guess get
Draymond.
4 guys right in that team, including Iguodala. I guess technically has 4.
Oh yeah. Yes,
and a Finals MVP.
Yeah, there you go.
Chris, did you watch the pregame at all for the ring
No,
ceremony?
can I just talk about the game?
Yeah, go ahead. Just talk about the game, man.
I went to bed. I watched the game today.
All right.
Yeah, I'll talk about the game.
The Anthony Davis, LeBron, and Russell combined for 77 points. When your big 3 combines for that many points, typically you would think your team's going to win. This just but they got this guy Matt Ryan, who is not the quarterback currently for the Indianapolis Colts, who just became 7th in passing yards all time, passing Dan Marino on Sunday. But Matt Ryan had 1 game played prior to this last season with the Boston Celtics, played 5 minutes, had 3 points. In this game, he played 17 minutes and got the same amount of points. So, it could be a long season if you got guys like Matt Ryan playing. Max Christie, Scottie Pippen Jr., Cole Swider, I don't know. I only know those names because I know Doug Christie and Scottie Pippen. Wenyen Gabriel. Okay, so I watched some preseason of the Lakers, and I liked him a lot. And he only played 7 minutes in this game, didn't do too much. But I hope I see more of him. Maybe, he can't shoot, but he's a big guy, and maybe he can do something. Juan Toscano Anderson. What was the point of the signing? He was the 12th man for the Warriors, and now he's like the 9th. For the Lakers,
yeah, he's gonna have
I thought he would be
contribute.
Maybe the 7th or 6th man even for. Yeah. So I don't know, man. I'm still not that low on the Lakers though, just because 77 combined for the big 3 is crazy, and they look great. So of course, if they can stay healthy, they can be a 500 team. The Warriors look like they're going to repeat. I feel really good about the fact that I said the Warriors are going to have the best record in the league this year because they just came out guns blazing and they have so many guys. Moses Moody looked good. He had a couple buckets. Jonathan Kuminga, he didn't look that great. But James Wiseman was looking great out there. So all these young guys they have on the floor. They had a stat that showed they have 5 guys, 23 and younger, in Poole, Kuminga, Wiseman, Moody, and I can't remember who the other one is. Maybe Ryan or Patrick Baldwin Jr., who didn't play. So this team, they're just going to be a fun team to watch all season.
Yeah, they're definitely fun to watch. They were fun opening night. Having Clay for the full season is going to be huge. Didn't seem like that scuffle during practice was any issue really at all. Poole, he ended up having 12 points off the bench, so that was nice. Joey mentioned Steph's 33. Yeah, Wiggins had 20. It's just they look like they're ready to go too. So I think maybe we get a rematch again in the finals, but.
Right.
Both those teams look sharp. Look like they definitely were ready to start the season strong. LA, I'm with you a little bit. AD playing solid was nice. I don't know if I'm, any higher on him or anything after that because it just seems like it's AD, LeBron, and then a little distant third of Russ, and then it's just there's nothing else behind them. So they're probably a team that is going to need to make a move early-ish in the season, try to get some pieces, but. All right, we can start moving on to tonight's main event, at least for us, right? Is this the main event for us tonight? Is the Bulls Heat still going on?
Absolutely.
7 minutes left in the fourth. Bulls up 5.
It's closing down here. Things are getting a little heated here.
Things are getting a little heated. I know. I've had one eye on the game, but I haven't been able to really see what's going on. So
no pun intended. Things are getting heated and quite chippy. DeMar just straight up truck somebody over in a screen.
They had a boy.
It's kind of fun. That'd be a good rivalry to have back. So
I like to see Dragic closing it out the game here, but
yeah, cool. Solid travel to knock it out.
Travel. Hey, he's a professional player. We were having a heated debate about Dragic before the pod started. All right, but let's talk about kind of that first half, Joey. What did you see in the first half? Maybe any notes from preseason that kind of carried over, or Obviously, the big concern was Levine being ruled out for tonight's game, kind of unexpectedly, I guess. You had some thoughts on that pre-show, so you want to just maybe talk about that a little bit, Joey?
Yeah, I'm not overly concerned that he's going to be taking time off throughout the season for his knee. Like I kind of fully expected that to be the case, just on the fact of the history he's had. Like I think it makes sense, I mean, not to compare him to Kawhi, but Kawhi's coming back from knee injury, much more severe, but right, he's not playing a ton of back-to-backs. Like there's going to be some give and take there. And I think that's reasonable. What gets me is like on Friday, you got him telling you that he's good to go and everything feels 100%. And then yesterday, he's game time decision. This morning, it's, he's not playing. Like, doesn't make any sense. If you're going to do load management, why the fuck are you doing it on game 1 of the season? Do it on Friday night against a team that you should be able to beat without him, and then let him play against Cleveland on Saturday night. Like, I don't get it. I also don't get the fact that like it's kind of like it seems like a secret right now. Like I need it to come out. I need somebody to tell me like, hey, is he taking off 1 every 5 games? Like what is the protocol? What can we expect? Like if it's 1 every 10 games, I think that's fine. Like I can live with that, right? Like that's a pretty reasonable thing to expect. But if it's like, oh yeah, 1 every 5 games he's not playing, then there's going to be problems.
Is he missing a significant chunk of this season? Because the team dynamic for sure is different, completely different when he's not there. I mean, the lineups change. I think a lot of their depth goes away. I mean, the argument we were having was I kind of felt like I like Dosunmu better off the bench than starting. I mean, I think he's kind of earned that spot. Chris was kind of pointing that out, but especially when you have Zach out, Caruso comes from the bench into the starting lineup, and that really, to me, hurts your depth. I like having a few guys coming in off the bench, and having Zach there really helps.
I'm also concerned too, like hopefully the team knew about this long before we did, like that this was a potential thing. Like, you got these guys looking at him saying, hey, this is the first guy to get a contract like this in Chicago Bulls history. And, he's the team has signaled that he's kind of the cornerstone of the next 5 years. And if this was like a surprise to them, like I can't imagine that being taken quite well. And I hope that wasn't the case. And I hope it doesn't ever become the case, because I think that is probably a bigger deal, long term, if there's going to be any kind of that, nonsense and rumbling. But just come out and fucking tell us what's going on. Like,
he's hot, man.
He's coming out hot, swearing left and right here.
You can't pay a guy
family podcast.
You can't pay a guy $215 million and then not tell people, like, you can't tell people why he's not playing the first game of the season.
It's knee soreness, man. They told you.
Sit him for the whole preseason. Like, what were you doing then? It doesn't make any sense.
All right, Chris.
Should we pivot to a question from the chat? And then go back, or should we?
I was thinking we could save it, but if you want, we can go to it.
Let's go to the question. Let's just
go to the question.
We're a little hot right now. Let's come down a little bit here. I was gonna
lighten it up.
Click it. Oh,
what did you do? I didn't click it.
Okay, I got it. All right, from Baskets, bringing back the Freaky Friday with a twist. If you could pick one player to Freaky Friday with for one game, maybe not Zach LaVine, considering his knee soreness.
That's
Baskets clarifies with one player to play in place of another player.
Okay, that's what I was.
Who
That's
do
why
you
I
want
was
to play
thinking
as
all right.
for one game. I don't think I would want to choose Zach LaVine because I don't know how my knees are going to be. I don't know if I want.
So we get to play.
No.
I
think it's like you're swapping for one game. You're trading somebody from your team, from the Bulls, to another team for one game.
You get to be that player. Oh my God, the Timberwolves are losing.
No, we're not. Okay.
I think it's a player swap. So it's an NBA NBA player swap. Yes, there it is. So
trade me Zach for Steph. Done.
Zach for Steph.
Wow.
Tonight, game's over. We win.
Game's over. I'm Freaky Fridaying Vooch for Giannis.
Oh, that's a really good one.
So we have Freaky Friday. We have Freaky Friday Steph and Zach, and Freaky Friday Vooch. All right, good.
Can I have Freaky Friday like Paolo Banchero?
Yes.
I was watching him today. He looks so good.
Chris still doesn't get the question.
Oh man.
Chris just wants to be Paolo Banchero.
He just wants to be Paolo Banchero.
For Vooch, I don't care who. Paolo Banchero.
Paolo. My answer is Paolo. I like it.
Could I just say Paolo?
Chris, did you have any thoughts on the Bulls game? Going back to,
I think they look great, And
You were
I'm
positive
expecting
about
them. So like nobody has talked about the Bulls in the offseason because they
Yes,
didn't do
we're gonna
anything,
talk about this.
right? But like
Yes.
they're gonna be a competitive team night in and night out. They're gonna win more games than I think that we think. I'm already kind of thinking I'm gonna be wrong about the under. I think it's gonna go like what was the over under? It was like 43.
43. It's fairly low.
What is
It's close.
happening?
Yeah. So
The world, look, it's episode 1 of the 3rd season.
this is
and
this is
it's
my
top
this is
6
my
every week.
this is part of my overreaction section.
I
Like
got
Yeah,
shit
I-
on all summer long for this. What is
I had
happening?
a question that was: are the Bulls a top 4 team? Can we? Because the Nets are getting demolished by New
This
Orleans
is
right
fine.
now, which I think New Orleans are a top 4 team as well. I already
Wow,
thought that.
we're just
beforehand,
heaters
but-
all around from Chris. He's just coming out of the gate swinging.
Bulls Nets, man. When does that game happen? Because if the Bulls blow out the Nets, then the Bulls could.
But
get
hold on,
get
I
home court in
have
the
not had
playoffs.
the Nets in the mix. We were talking about, could they?
We
be a
got
top
the
16?
Raptors, Sixers, Bucks.
Celtics.
Oh,
Heat.
Celtic. Oh, shoot. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
not the Heat.
The
Okay,
Heat
so
are
the
going to
fifth-
be there,
the fifth
dude.
seed. But hey, someone's gonna get an injury. Middleton's been hurt a bunch. Who knows?
True.
Embiid looks
Zach.
slow. Like I said, maybe he's injured. I don't know. But yeah, no, that's my optimistic Bulls take right now.
All right, here's
After
all
being
right, I'll
pessimistic
be
all
a
offseason.
little optimistic because I've been down on the Bulls all off season. I don't know how much we've actually talked about because we've been doing a lot of the the extracurricular stuff, but in the group chat and everything else, I've been pretty negative on it. But the one thing I will say, kind of taken away from this game, and see, they're still up 6 points, right? 6 points right now with 5 minutes left. So hey, Miami's a tough team. This would be a nice win. A bit of a fake win, I guess, was what me and Joey were saying. But I think if their guys are healthy, and I'm thinking of Lonzo and Zach, I think that they will be a pretty solid team, and they might be slightly better than I am anticipating. It's still gonna be frustrating to me as a fan because I don't think that means anything. I think if they end up like a 5 seed, which I don't think they will be, but let's say they end up a 5 seed, I just don't think that they're going anywhere. But I
and
could
the
see.
Cavs,
I could.
are they better than
yeah.
the Cavs? That's sorry.
We'll see. The Cavs, we'll see. I mean, I think the Cavs are going to be a better team, but I could also see the Cavs kind of being okay too, and just fine. But I think that's what the Bulls are going to be. I think they're going to be just fine. I think they're going to be a solid regular season team. I think they should win, the majority of their games, 42, 43 wins. But, I don't know.
Under?
I took the under, yeah. But I think the under was 43. And I think I took me like 41.
I'm so high on the Bulls right now just because they're beating the Heat. And if they win this game, like
This might be the most frustrating win for me because I'm like, this is going to start to. I'm going to start to convince myself. I'm going to be like,
and it's without Levine. That's the thing too.
I know. I already doing it in my head. It's like, well, without Levine and without Lonzo.
Yeah.
And then the next thing I know, I'm going to be like, you know what? I don't know. 50 wins maybe. Look at Joey's face right now. If you're not watching this on YouTube, Joey's like, what is happening right now? You guys all year or all off season, especially me. I don't know. I think this is going to be a weird Bull season.
Yeah, I think you guys are giving more credit to the Bulls and maybe should be taking a little bit more away from Miami. And I think they're getting credit for what they've done in the past.
So what do you think Miami is going to be this year? They were the 1 seed last year.
I think it'll be a top 14.
Oh, sorry. I cut off Joey. I meant to ask him.
Should they have been? I guess, yeah. Like they could easily be a number 1 seed next or this season again. But like, were they a legitimate, true number 1 seed? Like in today's NBA, it doesn't seem like the number 1 seed really means what it does anymore. Like, yeah, you're winning the most regular season games, great, but that's not actually translating to you being a really good team. Like, would you say Miami was a really good team in the scope of the Eastern Conference last year, or were they just like they were a good team?
But that's the same team they had this year, and you're saying that like maybe
finals.
But you're discounting the Bulls win because you're saying the Heat are bad.
So that's why bad.
I'm just saying, you're saying the Heat are going to be worse than the Bulls. That means they're going to be like an 8 seed.
Yeah. Well, you guys are saying the Bulls. This is a great win for them. Like,
I think
it's
Chris is just talking me into this a little bit. I think I'm trying to like walk like so. Before we got on, and I was just watching the first half. I was where you were or where you are right now, Joe. I was like, all right, this is going to suck. This season's going to be really rough. But then, I mean, look, they're they're making a push here in this game. I think we're watching this. This is for all the people listening and watching the show. This is the Bulls roller coaster that we are on constantly, where it's just these constant like these teases of because what Chris is saying is like the mental stuff I do in my head of like, well, this is Miami. They were the number 1 seed last year, blah blah blah, and then this is like you guys are like on my shoulder, and then Joey's the other side where he's like, yeah, but. What is it? Dragic has 4 threes and he's throwing these.
Family has 8
shots
points.
Family has 8
playing
points.
better.
Like it's just like and I think that's where we're going to be all year with the Bulls. Is this constant? We're basketball hell, which is what I said at the beginning of the season.
Like I'm not ready to say that like Io getting 17 points a game and Kobe off the bench with 10 and Dragic with 12 is going to be DeMar getting 32 is going to be a consistent thing. I think like I'm not there yet, right? It's one game. It's a small sample, obviously. Zach's not there, so there's more points in general to go around. My big still concern is like you don't have a good forward still. Patrick Williams has 4 points tonight.
Oh,
and like that at some point is going to become a problem because you're going to come across teams that's going to become a much bigger deal. Like that's not a huge deal against Miami, right? Miami is kind of a smaller team.
Yeah,
except when
Bam.
Dwayne Dedman and Bam are in. Other than
Caleb
that, though,
Martin's the starting power forward at 6'5". Yeah, so to your point.
right. So like,
And
it's not a bad win. I'm not saying like, oh yeah, this is they're being a crap team. You guys are going to where I've been all summer.
I feel like I'm walking.
Yeah, now
the
you're
line
going to where
between-
we have been all summer.
No, I'm just regressing to the norm because I had my heart broke.
the
this
norm.
morning.
What is the norm of a Bulls
He's gone
fan?
full Titus. He's gone full Titus for this episode.
The norm is that the Bulls are going to be a mediocre team and they're going to win some games that they probably shouldn't win, and they're going to
They're up by
lose a lot
10
of
against
games.
the
They're going to lose a lot of games that
the
they
number
should
1
probably
team
win.
last year at the number 1 seeded team's home.
But you know
court.
what? All right, I'm gonna
Like,
do the negative.
without
Nancy.
their best player, arguably the Bulls' best player.
DeMar
at least
DeRozan
highest
now is the
paid.
best player. Yeah, highest paid.
I mean, I wouldn't even say he's the best player. That's
You
aggressive.
wouldn't? Oh, I thought you
No.
at least you
No,
would.
it's DeMar.
It's DeMar.
I mean, it is.
It is.
Which is like sad. I mean, that's the thing
Yeah,
that's
it
actually
is,
more upsetting me. Is like, yeah, I can't say Zach's the best.
I
player.
just
No.
wanted to hear the argument that
Yeah.
means the best, but he's not.
No, it's
He's not.
DeMar.
It's
Yeah.
DeMar. Which I was gonna say, to be a little negative, Nancy. Like the crowd in Miami is terrible right now. They were terrible at the beginning of the game. There was nobody in the seats. There's
Yeah.
no juice in
They
that building.
notoriously have like the worst
Yeah.
fans.
But if you look at the crowd right now, it's
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
5 minutes
It's
left in the game.
an
It's
8-point
it's a
game,
tight
first game of the season. and
Empty
there's-
seats
in
everywhere.
the lower bowl.
Yeah, low bowl. Like no, like
do we,
there's no
do
energy.
we want
in
to talk
that
about
building.
any other games live right now? Or are you guys just Bulls focused right
No,
now?
you know what? Let's pull up some games. Let's talk about something. Looks like Grizzlies are gonna win that one. Looks like for.
Well, I wanted to talk about the Jazz Nuggets. Jazz are up
Okay,
60 to 40.
Wait,
now.
whoa!
What?
What's happening here?
We need to
Hold
touch
on.
on that. Hold on. let's
Laurie
pull that up.
Markkinen, I think he had 9.
Jazz, you're doing it wrong.
Okay, that actually doesn't surprise me. Like I could see Markkinen
got
having
10.
like
Can I see this game?
a career season.
Everybody
Oh,
on
there
this
it
team
is.
just has points. The weirdest game though is the Charlotte Hornets are beating the Spurs 110 to 82. Both terrible teams, but like Charlotte,
Who's scoring on Charlotte right now?
everybody. Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward. Is
get
Cody
Rozier.
Zeller still on this team? Like
Probably.
No, I think he got traded.
Mason
I feel like-
Plumlee. That's it.
No.
Kelly Oubre, my boy, he's got 13. PJ Washington's got 12. Nick Richards has 19. Like this, Dennis Smith
Now we're just
Jr.
naming people.
with 12.
No, he's named the deep cut bench
The
guys.
deep cuts.
I'm
It's
just
Chris
saying,
is-
19 points.
yeah,
He's got 19
19 points.
Yeah, call him out. He's got 19.
he's got
Um,
19.
So I just think the Spurs might be the worst team if they're going to get blown out
I-
by, or maybe
yeah.
Charlotte's not that bad. Maybe Charlotte's actually well coached and.
I mean, Charlotte's going to be what, a 30-win team, something like that, 30, 35
Well,
win
people,
team?
I mean, after the James Booknight DUI, everyone's like, "What is
Yeah.
that?" And then Lamel's hurt, and it's
Yeah.
like, "Okay, Charlotte's going to be lucky to win 25 games." And now it's like, "Okay, wait,
They're going to be flirting
it's
with
San
40.
Antonio, so
Yeah. They'll be flirting with 40
think?
wins, I think.
40?
No,
I-
I think they're flirting with like 35.
that's what flirting with 40. Hey, what is
Big
that?
difference.
I think they're flirting with 35. Flirting with 40.
big difference." But
But no, I think they're in that range, 35 to 40 wins. I think that's kind of where they're going to be.
I think I had under. I think that.
Well, I would
under was
actually, you know, what, I would
35
say
and a half.
like,
I think 30 to 35 is probably the more
you're probably right. No, that's probably right.
realistic.
but that's probably where they're going to be. But yeah, I think they're going to be at low 30s, mid 30s. So like not a terrible, well, not a good team, but like not a trash team either. So Spurs are going to be garbage though. Any other
Spurs,
surprising stuff from tonight?
Not surprising, but notable is Toronto's beating Cleveland. Surprising about this is the fact that Darius Garland has 4 points compared to Donovan Mitchell's 31. It's just a bad night for Darius Garland.
I can see that being not like a full-time problem, but like I could see that creeping up from time to time where like it's all going to go kind of one-sided.
And then Toronto, each starter has at least 15 points, which that's just a fun thing to say.
That is fun to say.
When you can say each starter has at least 15 points. Could you imagine saying like, "Hey, Patrick Williams, has at least 15 points"?
I think that's our dream.
No, I couldn't. I can't even imagine saying it.
That's why Toronto's just. I think they're called like the basketball nerds' favorite team.
Yes,
just because they're a good team.
This is the team. Hold on, all right. Before we get to our next topic, we can do this. Baskets. My answer for Freaky Friday twist would be MJ playing for LeBron.
I'd be MJ's like. How old is he now? Like 50? It'd be kind of tough if he was going to play.
Right now, MJ?
yeah. That's what. Right.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to see him play in LA, I guess.
Drinking tequila, drinking, cigar smoking, Jordan in
Jordan's just going hard.
It would be pretty fun to watch.
All right. Before we close this thing out, let's do a little overreactions to week one, night one, and night one of the first full slate of games. Holy crap! All right, what's your guys' overreactions?
So I've been talking about Paolo.
Yeah,
first quarter was fantastic with him. They lost. Isaiah Stewart hit a 3 at the corner to seal the game to have Detroit go up by 4. Big Stu hitting threes.
Big Stu.
That's what they call him.
Yeah, that's his nickname. He might be a problem this year. Jalen Duran is the youngest Detroit Piston ever to have a double-double with 14 points and 11 rebounds. He's 18 years old. The Pistons got some guys, and so does Orlando. They're two teams that are going to be fun to watch all season. Orlando, Bull is getting minutes, and as long as he keeps getting minutes, I'm going to keep watching. So my overreaction there is just I like both teams and think they could both be the 10 seed.
Joe, you got any overreactions?
I'm confused. Is that an overreaction or
that is a reaction?
That is a reaction.
I like them to be like I don't know. Maybe I should look at it for next week when we do our top 25 players. But
yes,
I like Detroit. I want Detroit and Orlando both in the play-in. Can I just have them be like the 9th and 10th seeds and just have?
You just want to slot them in now.
And just like kick out Brooklyn. Can Brooklyn just go away?
Brooklyn is not going to go away. We'll be talking about them all season. They're another team that's in basketball hell.
They lost 130 to 108 to New Orleans.
Whoa!
What
did Zion
got
have?
Guys.
Narland's
Herb Jones got like a clean block on a Durant corner 3. It was a beauty to watch. It was effortless.
Is Durant washed? Is that your?
I'm saying Herb Jones is probably one of the best defensive players in the league.
Elite defender.
True. I mean, Zion had 25. Ingram had 28. Ooh, nice. I think I have Ingram on my fantasy team.
Yeah, this team's got so many. Even Trey Murphy, the third off the bench, got 16.
That's a good overreaction. Is Pelicans are
the 4th seed?
Are top 4 team in the?
I had them as the 4th seed, so they're my 4th seed.
I don't think that's. I mean, that's probably an overreaction.
That's an overreaction, but yes,
that's my overreaction for today.
I think there's some potential behind that.
I had a couple overreactions. My first one, I think I don't know if this is a slight overreaction. We kind of maybe touched on it a little bit. I think Boston's winning the title. I think Boston's winning.
Boo is right, but I think
is that an overreaction?
They have no flaws, right? Except maybe ball handling. Like who's
when they get Robin Williams
there's no
back.
Point guard on that team.
Brogdon if they need it. I mean,
they'll be fine.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, someone's got to come out. And that you're right. That's probably their biggest. Like if you're putting him in, who's going to the bench in crunch time.
No, and then you got. I mean, that Smart, Brown, and Tatum kind of share the rock, but
right.
Guys, I think you're right because Noah Vonleh getting 20 minutes and still winning by 12 points like that. Philadelphia is
the Noah Vonleh counter up to 4.
Vonleh counter. We should do that over under minutes for Vonleh. Vonleh minutes, and then my other overreaction. The Bulls will not have an All-Star this season.
What? DeMar DeRozan currently has 37 points.
He has 37.
He
He might get
God.
40
I'm
before this
idiot.
game is over,
I'm
and you're
a-
saying they're
I'm
not going to have
an
an All-Star. Get
idiot.
the
They're not
get
gonna
out
have
of
an
here,
All-Star.
Titus.
The Bulls are not
He's-
going to have an All-Star.
Jesus, that is the worst. No, I hate critiquing
me, bro.
overreactions. That is the dumbest overreaction.
Come
trick
at
I've
me,
ever
bro.
heard.
They're not having an All-Star. Zach's not making an All-Star.
He's got 37 points, 9
I think-
assists, 6 boards.
I think you're on something with saying Zach won't make an All-Star game. That's not even.
fine.
I think it's
That
so
seems
heavy.
reasonable.
Because I was like, the backcourt's too heavy because you're probably going to get Donovan, you're going to get Trae Young, and you're starting backcourt, right?
We're talking about the front with DeMar.
front,
You're saying
I
DeMar
think-
DeRozan's not going to be an All-Star this year.
Well, all right. So starting front court's going to be Tatum, Giannis, and Embiid. Kevin Durant's going to make the front court. Who else? I mean, all right, DeMar's probably getting in, but
DeMar's getting in.
DeMar's getting in. But
DeMar's getting in.
You really pulled back quickly on that.
I still
come on,
believe it.
man.
But well, he has 37 points. My argument looks stupid now.
I think
Yes,
the
it does look stupid.
I think the overreaction is
stupid?
Audesimo is going to be the most improved player this season.
That's a good
he's-
one.
That's
Actually,
no,
that was
like
I wonder
if you're
what his
going to pick
odds
an
were.
overreaction from
Ooh,
from-
that is.
if you're
all
going
right.
to pick an overreaction from
If he hits this
the
shot
Bulls
right now. Oh no, he
Nah,
can't.
he missed it. He missed it. He was on his toes hoping it. Like that's the overreaction. DeMar's going to be top 5 in points per game this season.
He starts with 37. I'm so mad right now.
14 to 22.
He's gonna be cooking while Zach is out with whatever his knee swelling soreness is.
Vooch with 17 rebounds.
17 rebounds.
Vooch could lead the league in rebounds.
Jesus,
So
wow.
are we expecting a Vooch bounce back season? Because I kind of am a little bit like.
I mean,
All right, you know what, man?
It's a contract year, so it has. There's an overreaction. Vooch is going to play up to a new contract.
Oh, they're gonna re-sign Vooch. Oh no.
Oh my god.
So because before when he was in Orlando, he was averaging 24. Man, 20 points a game. Last year for the Bulls, or 2 years ago, he was averaging 21 when he came over. Then last season, he averaged 17. Can Vooch average over 19 points a game?
No,
And he had 11 boards last year too. So
I
that's
didn't realize he's like a 37 or 35% like 3-point shooter.
He's solid.
yeah.
No, but like
He's a stretch.
I think for like what you think of him when you think of him as a player is like, oh, he's a big guy. Like that's not that. It's not a ton to count on, I guess.
No,
don't
I mean he's like, I don't know.
He's good for like a 3-pointer a game.
Did you guys hear Stacy compare him to Jokic and Embiid at the start of the game? I almost
In
texted
terms
you
of
guys.
like being a big man who can pass,
No, he said
like not
no,
well,
he said
just
if-
physically can stand there and pass the ball.
he said if those two guys weren't in the league, that Vooch would be getting more shine. And then he said he's right there behind him at number 3 in big men in the league.
Dude, it's awesome.
And I was just like, and this was before tip. This was like
Does-
we were going up to tip, and I'm like, Stacy, what are you doing, man?
Does he not consider like Giannis a Bam big men?
That's what
Well,
I'm like. What are you doing?
Maybe Bam. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, now that I started thinking about it too, I'm like, wait, is there who would be 3 though?
Should we
Stacey King had the biggest overreaction of.
Of the-
Versil's been doing a
Vooch
thing
is
on
the
his
number 3
pod
big
called
man.
like the worst take. Should we start doing worst take? Just like if you hear something, this is the worst
I
take
don't-
of the week.
I don't think we could find a worse take than Vucevic.
No, what we should do is we should do the Stacy quote of the week since we all watch the Bulls games.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one.
Stacey King quote of the week.
That's our Stacy King quote of the week. He's Vooch is number 3, right behind Jokic and Embiid. And if those guys weren't in the league, he'd be getting a little more shine. People would be paying attention to Vooch more. So thank you, Stacy, for that hot one.
Good Lord.
Wow.
All right. Anything you guys are watching for in the upcoming rest of the week 1?
My friend, I think I'm just watching games, man. I think that's what I'm excited about. I'm gonna be
Team
watching-
highlighting though, or
Yeah, we're gonna
Games,
highlight
highlights,
teams.
whatever, anything.
What are you looking for, Chris? I'm trying to see what match.
I'm sorry. I've been on Orlando and Detroit this whole time. I'm going to be watching more of their games.
Wow,
I want to watch Jalen Brunson in New York. They're in OT right now against Memphis, so that's interesting. Okay, the Jazz are still up 72-50. That's kind of weird. I was gonna mention I want to watch Benedict Mathurin, but I really don't. I'm gonna watch the Pelicans a bunch. I think the Pelicans
yeah,
after
it's a
this
good call.
domination, that's a team to keep watching. And then if I need to watch the Cavs, so Cavs, Pelicans, and the Suns, because I'm so low on the Suns, and they just kicked off against the Mavericks. So those are probably my three for the week, just because. So Pelicans, Cavs, and Suns, and then secondarily Pistons, Magic, just because of the guys. And of course, Bulls, Timberwolves. So I have like 17.
You got 7 teams to watch. No, I'm gonna be locked into Bucks Sixers tomorrow night, and then my team is going to be the Grizzlies again. Kind of having them. Grizzlies Mavs on Saturday will be a game I'm locked into, and then I'm probably going to be looking at Nuggets games a lot, just kind of watching them, seeing how they do, since I got a lot invested in them this season. Joey,
Porter and Murray are playing right now too.
I know 4 points for Murray right now. So,
anyways.
I've got Bucks Sixers on the calendar.
Bucks Sixers.
Bucks Nuggets. And then I got Bulls Cavs Saturday, and I know it seems it's a Bulls game, but
no, I think
the Cavs are getting a lot of that Stacey Kingism, getting a lot of shine because of the Donovan Mitchell trade. And I think that's warranted, but there doesn't seem like they got a lot of press and pub, but there doesn't seem to be as much like confidence in that working out as fast as some of the other offseason moves.
Yeah.
And I think that could be one of the Bulls, bigger kind of or closest comparison pieces in the East. So I'm curious to see how that shakes out in game one, which potentially could be Zach's first game of the season. And I think, I'm looking forward to that. Plus, Titus, I think you're going to be here watching it, so we'll get a little in-person game. Chris, I think Bella's going to be here too, so we'll give her.
Oh, that's right.
We'll give her the actual experience of being a Bulls fan versus some of that nonsense.
Bulls Cavs Saturday. I forgot about that. Yeah, I think on to your point, Joey, about the Bulls, I'm definitely watching to kind of see a little bit of a measuring stick this first week. Obviously, the big win against the Heat. So that's a good start there. But then they got Cavs, they got Celtics, and then after our pod next week they'll have the 76ers and the Nets, so and the Raptors. So a good kind of some measuring stick teams coming up in the first week of the schedule. So let's see where they are, see what they end up as record wise in the next week and a half, and just kind of see how excited I want to get for this team. So please don't. So
if they go what if they go? If they go 3-1, are you going to be high on the Bulls
for next week? If I'm coming in next week, they're 3-1. I think
they at Washington, Cleveland, Boston before we come back. So if they're 3-1
and they just lose to Boston, it's a tight game,
right?
Yeah,
so that means they beat Cleveland.
I'll be sucked in. If it's 3-1 and like it's a tight win, Boston has to kind of fight them a little bit. Yeah, I'll be right. I'll be like, what? Top 4, I think.
Then we'll pod, and then they'll lose to Indiana.
Yeah, and then it'll be like, what is happening? I think they'll be 2-2 at best. So we'll see.
Guys, we got to remember history, right? It can't repeat itself. This is what happened last year, right?
It's what happens every time with the Bulls.
We were right though to be high on the Bulls.
No, we were, but there was a specific. They'd beaten somebody, and then they went out and lost to Houston right after that. And we literally had this like, oh man, they're going to go on this big run here. It's going to be huge, and then they got beat by Houston. And so I'm gonna tamper expectations at least for like 2 weeks. We'll see how 2 weeks in I feel, but
I can already feel us.
I was hurt last year, and
the stupid Miami win.
I'm ready to get hurt again.
Yep,
I got hurt in person this year. Right, we went and visibly watched it, and I'm not ready to do it again.
Oh man. Well, we will see how quickly these old wounds heal. But I think we're just excited to have basketball back in our lives. It's good to watch some games. We'll be watching some in-person games this weekend with Joey. So good stuff, man. Well, that'll be it for us tonight. Join us next week to talk more NBA basketball. Yes. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch at the Box Out Boys. Slide on those DMs. Join us live Wednesdays at 8:30. Send us an email to theboxoutboys@gmail.com. Hit us with your questions, man. We'll probably start our starting 5 questions next week. Yeah. So if you guys got any questions about the league you want us to work in, feel free to send them in, on Instagram or YouTube or anything like that. And then as always, like, subscribe, and review wherever you're listening to this at now. We very much appreciate that. So for Chris, Joey, and Adam, I'm Titus. Until next time, box out.